Three ordinary housewives made tens of millions of dollars forging coupons, costing companies a combined $600 million. When federal agents busted down their doors with a battering ram, what they found stunned investigators. $40 million worth of counterfeit coupons, 21 luxury cars, and a brand new boat that had never touched water. And behind it all were three completely unremarkable women: a housewife, a chiropractor, and a retired middle school teacher. So how did they pull it off? It started in 2007 in Phoenix, Arizona. 35-year-old Robin Ramirez was your typical suburban mom, driving kids around, running the household, and like everyone else in her neighborhood, clipping coupons from the Sunday paper to save a few bucks. She didn't have a fancy finance degree or come from money, but she had a sharper mind than most people, endless patience, and the nerve to bend the rules and exploit loopholes. One afternoon, she was staring at a bag of dog food and got an idea. She called the customer service line for a major pet food brand and, faking a worried tone, claimed her dog had gotten sick after eating their food. The company's response followed the same script it always did: apologetic, soothing, eager to smooth things over and put the complaint to rest fast. A few days later, an envelope arrived at her house, a high-value coupon for a full free bag of premium dog food worth up to $70. Robin went straight to the store to test it out. She handed the coupon to the cashier. It scanned fine, applied the discount, and the whole process went off without a hitch. The register zeroed out, and she walked out with $70 worth of dog food for free. Most people would have felt a quick thrill and moved on. But standing in that parking lot, staring at her receipt, Robin didn't see a lucky break. She saw a massive loophole. She stopped thinking about the dog food and started picking apart how the entire U.S. retail system actually worked. This giant commercial system, built entirely on public trust, served hundreds of millions of customers and controlled a market worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And it had one glaring weakness. Companies simply didn't have the manpower or the systems to verify every single coupon they mailed out. The system just assumed every coupon in circulation was legitimate. That night, Robin sat at her kitchen table and made a list of every major company in the country that mailed out free coupons in response to customer complaints. Most people think of coupons as just a small discount at checkout. Almost nobody realizes the redemption process is slow, delayed, and full of holes. Grocery stores across the country collect coupons daily and weekly, bundle them up, and mail them to a national clearinghouse, which sorts them by brand and sends them back to companies like Procter & Gamble and PepsiCo, who then reimburse the stores for the discounts and handling fees. The whole process takes weeks, sometimes months, with no real-time verification at any point. The scanner at checkout only checks if the barcode is valid. It doesn't trace where the coupon actually came from or verify it's genuine. Even a fake coupon, as long as the barcode reads correctly, sails right through and completes the transaction. By the time companies reconcile their books and accountants spot something off, the product's already sold, the store's already been reimbursed, and the money's long gone. Companies figured nobody would go to the trouble of forging small-value coupons. The payoff per coupon was tiny, not worth the risk. What nobody accounted for was this: once you're forging coupons by the millions, those tiny profits add up to a fortune. Robin understood this perfectly. After some searching, she found her way to an underground printing operation in Eastern Europe. Its exact location still unknown to this day. They could perfectly replicate the paper texture, ink tone, security features, and scannable barcodes of a real coupon. The finished product was indistinguishable from the real thing, even to people who worked for the brands themselves. She started testing them across multiple cities and stores, spanning several states, from small neighborhood grocery stores to major chains. Every single fake coupon scanned successfully. At that point, Robin essentially had a machine that could print money legally, and she'd cracked the entire scam wide open. With her supply chain sorted, she moved on to building a distribution network. She built a dedicated website modeled after the well-known coupon magazine, The Coupon Clippers, making it look like a legitimate spin-off and putting customers completely at ease. The site was clean, professional, and well laid out, stocked with redemption coupons for products from more than 40 major brands, including Procter & Gamble, PepsiCo, Hershey's, Tampax, and Minin, covering hundreds of categories from household goods to food, baby products, and drinks. Her pricing was clever. A $70 premium product coupon sold for just $10. For customers, it looked like an unbeatable deal with zero risk. For Robin, each fake coupon cost only pennies to print, and her profit margin on each sale was close to 100%. By late 2008, the site had taken off through coupon forums and Facebook shopping groups, drawing in extreme couponers, stockpilers, and budget shopping bloggers from across the country as loyal customers. People paid anonymously with cash or money orders and waited for their counterfeit coupons to arrive in the mail. A quiet scam involving people all over the country was spreading fast. By 2010, the business had spiraled out of control. Orders were exploding, and Robin couldn't keep up on her own. Her house in Phoenix was buried in stacks of fake coupons, with cash stuffed into shoeboxes, drawers, and cabinets. What used to be an ordinary suburban home had turned into her underground fraud headquarters. Running an operation of this scale meant she needed help. Her first hire was a chiropractor named Amico Fountain. How exactly the two of them met remains unclear. What's known is that Amico started coming by Robin's house every week, packaging orders, stuffing envelopes, and handling shipments, initially getting paid in coupons for her work. In later statements, she always maintained she had no idea what was going on, believing it was just a normal side job and never suspecting anything illegal. The second person to join was Marilyn Johnson, a retired special education teacher. She'd spent her whole career working with special needs children, known around the neighborhood as a warm, kind-hearted elder everyone liked. She too helped pack products and organize orders in her spare time, taking coupons as payment. And just like that, 3 unassuming, respectable women had built a fraud operation that shook the entire U.S. retail industry. By 2011, the sheer volume of orders and inventory had outgrown Robin's house, so she rented another property as a secret base of operations. Inside were rows of shelves, hundreds of thousands of fake coupons organized neatly by brand and category, looking like a professional warehouse. Several high-speed bill counters, the same kind used in casinos, ran around the clock. By that point, she was pulling in $300,000 a month, tax-free, more than most established doctors earned in a year. That much illegal money needed somewhere to go, and Robin went on a spending spree. Luxury cars, RVs, boats, guns. She bought assets faster than she could ever use them. Even living in the middle of the desert in Phoenix, she bought a brand new boat that sat unused, never once touched water. She knew a suburban housewife owning a fleet of luxury cars would raise eyebrows fast. To cover her tracks, she rented a climate-controlled private hangar at a small airport outside the city, the kind serious collectors used to store their cars. 21 luxury vehicles sat lined up inside, most with under 100 miles on them, still wrapped in factory protective film, looking like a private luxury car showroom. Everything she'd bought with stolen money sat hidden away in that metal hangar, completely out of sight. The whole scheme finally started unraveling in an ordinary office building in Cincinnati, at Procter & Gamble. An accountant doing the annual routine coupon reconciliation noticed a mountain of irregular data buried in the tedious paperwork. Massive batches of coupons had cleared processing and settled with stores, but the promotions tied to those product batches had never actually existed. The brand had never run them. The barcodes were valid, the information looked complete, but there was no official record of these coupons ever being issued. Huge, unexplained losses with no way to trace where they'd come from. The anomaly got escalated up the chain, sparking an awkward joint investigation across multiple companies. P&G reached out to PepsiCo, PepsiCo checked with Hershey's, and once dozens of major companies started comparing notes, they realized something disturbing. For years, everyone had been quietly absorbing massive, unexplained losses. Each company had assumed it was an isolated internal problem. None of them realized that more than 40 major brands across the country had all been getting bled dry by the same hidden counterfeit operation. To stop the bleeding and trace the source, the companies teamed up through an industry authority called the Coupon Information Corporation to form an anti-fraud alliance. Worried about privacy issues and public backlash, the companies didn't go straight to the FBI. Instead, the alliance hired experienced private investigators to quietly dig into this massive multi-state fraud case. The investigative team got to work fast, placing anonymous orders for coupons, tracking shipping envelopes the whole way, and examining paper texture, ink composition, and security features under a magnifying glass. All the evidence eventually pointed back to the same source, Robin's website, and every bit of traffic and every order on that site led straight back to a single anonymous P.O. box in Phoenix. With a complete chain of evidence in hand, the investigators took their findings to the Phoenix police, who formally opened an investigation. Investigators quickly uncovered a fatal mistake Robin had made. Hidden in her website's backend was something she'd built herself, a wall of shame, where she publicly listed every customer who questioned the legitimacy of the coupons, asked for refunds, or left bad reviews, exposing their full names, home addresses, and phone numbers to scare off anyone who spoke up. Police immediately spotted the opportunity. Those publicly humiliated customers were exactly the people who understood how the scheme worked and were most willing to cooperate with the investigation. Investigators reached out to them one by one, working their way up through the network. Victim after victim came forward, giving detailed accounts of how they'd bought the coupons, how transactions worked, and how redemption happened. The case's chain of evidence quickly came together into a complete picture. Police now had the website's trail, the P.O. box, transaction records, and a mountain of witness testimony. Everything was in place except one thing: identifying the person actually running it. Investigators staked out that P.O. box for 2 weeks straight. 13 days went by with nothing. On the 14th day, a blonde woman showed up, calm and composed, grabbed a box of mail, and drove off. Police photographed her on the spot and ran her license plate. Her identity came back immediately. Robin Ramirez, an ordinary Phoenix resident with no criminal record, the mastermind behind a fraud empire that had stayed hidden for 5 years, had finally surfaced. In July 2012, before sunrise, police and federal agents launched a coordinated raid across multiple locations at once. A large team of officers gathered outside Robin's house, armed with search warrants, arrest warrants, and a complete case file. The battering ram came down, and Robin was arrested on the spot inside her own home. At the same time, her partner, Amiko Fountain, was arrested at her own chiropractic office, and Marilyn Johnson was taken into custody at home. 2 respectable middle-aged women ended up in handcuffs. That night, mugshots of all 3 women hit news outlets across the country. Under the camera flashes, the 2 middle-aged women looked shocked and lost, appearing gentle and harmless, nothing like the masterminds of a fraud scheme worth hundreds of millions of dollars. When the hangar's metal door rolled up, row after row of brand new luxury cars came into view. Sports cars, Corvettes, luxury sedans, all lined up, most of them practically untouched. Nearby sat the boat that had never touched water, along with a stockpile of guns, tens of millions of dollars in fake coupons found in the house, piles of cash, and dozens of bank accounts tied to the case. The physical evidence stunned the entire country. But the final sentencing shocked people even more. Robin's 2 accomplices, Amiko and Marilyn, pleaded guilty and claimed they'd had no idea what was going on and no malicious intent. Both got 3 years of probation, no prison time at all. Whether the public bought that explanation or not, the justice system had made its decision. Robin Ramirez, the mastermind, was convicted on 3 felony charges: fraud, forgery, and running an illegal enterprise, and ultimately received just 2 years in prison. A scheme that ran for 5 years, cost $600 million, and upended the entire U.S. retail coupon system, and the woman behind it served just 2 years. In 2021, Hollywood turned this case into a comedy film called Queenpins, softening the crime's severity and packaging it as a lighthearted story of women beating the system. But the movie conveniently left out the most brutal, unsettling truth. Every loophole Robin exploited back then has never actually been fixed. To this day, checkout systems at American stores still can't verify coupon authenticity in real time. They rely entirely on barcode scanning. Manufacturers still take weeks, sometimes months, to reconcile coupon redemptions, meaning fraud can only be caught after the fact, never prevented beforehand. And customer service reps at major brands will still mail out high-value free coupons based on nothing more than a verbal complaint, with zero verification.